Well, hi again, everyone. This is Tim from Cleveland Baseball Fan 879, and this is game number 11 in Roberto Clemente's Race to 3,000 Hits using 1972 Stratomatic Super Advanced. If you do not want to know what he's done so far, please skip ahead. He only needs 101 hits and 383 plate appearances, so he's done very well. We'll go ahead and roll for ballpark effects. Night game in Pittsburgh, so we need 1 to 4 good, 5 to 13 average, or 14 to 20 is bad. And we have good weather tonight. So 1 to 13 for ballpark singles, and 1 to 7 for lefties, and 1 to 3 for righties for ballpark home runs. All right, pitching matchup for today is Gary Nolan for the Reds and Steve Blass for the Pirates. And the lineup that Blass will face is Pete Rose leading off and playing left field, Joe Morgan batting second, playing second, Bobby Tolan in center field batting third, Johnny Bench cleaning up and catching, Tony Perez at first base batting fifth, Dennis Menke moving to third base tonight and batting sixth, Cesar Geronimo in right field batting seventh, Dave Concepcion at shortstop batting eighth, and Gary Nolan pitching batting ninth. Defensively for the Pirates, behind the plate is Manny Sanguillen. At first base is Bob Robertson. At second base is Rennie Stennett. Third base is Richie Hebner. Shortstop is Gene Alley. Willie Stargell in left field. Al Oliver in center field. And Roberto Clemente in right. Here's Pete Rose to lead it off. 6 and a 7. Second base chance. Oh boy, Stennett 4 and a 5. That will not be good. And a 7. Four and a 5. That will get through for a single. Stennett is an E23, and there is no 7. So Pete Rose with the leadoff single. And he will be held on, even though -5 and -7, he'd be 50-50 to try to steal. They will hold him on, and I will do a kind of definitive thing. If I'm the Reds early in the game, I'm going to hit and run with Joe Morgan. Nothing on the havoc roll. All right, and we'll see what comes up here. Hit and run with Morgan. Off goes Rose. And this will be an A and a 4. Uh-oh, this isn't good. Oops. Yeah, A and a 4. Oh, it's better than what I thought. Okay, A and a 5 would have been bad. A and a 4 is just a grounder to first. And with Rose moving on the pitch, the only play is to let's see. No, he's going to throw to Blass covering. 1 away, so it saves them a double play. 1 away. Here's Bobby Tolan. Still holding Rose at second. Nothing on the havoc roll. And here's Tolan. 3 and a 4. Ground ball to first, and that's an A, so I say he will take that to the bag himself, 2 down. And on that ground ball, I believe, ground ball to first, he makes sure. First or second, yep. So going to third is Rose, but there are 2 outs. And here is Johnny Bench. Nothing on the 12. And here's Bench. So we'll do that. Miss dice there. 3 and a. Wow, another 3 and a 4. And Tapper back to the mound. Blass gets it, throws to first, and that retires the side. The Reds strand 1. And after half inning, it's the Reds nothing and the Pirates coming to bat. Batting order for the Pirates today. Stennett, Oliver, and Clemente. Stargell, Hebner, and Sanguian. Robertson, Alley, and Blass. And there's Gary Nolan finishing his warm-up tosses. And here's Rennie Stennett. Three and an 8. And that's a ground ball to his shortstop. And Concepcion throws out Stennett, one away. Here's Al Oliver. Five and a 5. Lefty fly ball to left field. And that's 2 down. And here's Roberto Clemente. Righty matchup. Two and a 7. Field goal roll there. Ground ball to short. And that will retire the side. Through an inning complete, it's the Reds nothing and the Pirates nothing. Sorry, take off the sweater that I was wearing. All right. And due up for the Reds, Perez, Menke, and Geronimo. And here's Tony Perez. And we'll redo that because I got stuck. Oops, we'll redo that again. Jeez, one of these times I'll get it right. There we go. 6 and an 8 against a righty. And it's popped up to the shortstop, and Alley retires Perez, one away. And here's Dennis Menke. We'll redo that one again. One and a 9. And against a righty that's driven to deep center field, and one hops the wall into second with a double is Menke. That is a 1 to 5 home run chance. The 13 prevents that from going over the wall, but the Reds are in business here. And here's Cesar Geronimo. Nothing on the 9. And here's the pitch to Geronimo. 4 and a 4. That's usually the catcher chance. And yep, that's it. 18 for Sanguian. This will probably be a, well, he's a 1 catcher. Yeah, this will be a ground out. Oh, almost. Let's see if he makes the error or not. E9 on an E3. No. So a G2 with a runner on second. Okay, let's find the G2 here. Okay, runner on second is right, and the ball hits first or second. So we get to decide whether we want to throw him out at third, which would be the running speed of Menke is a 12, subtract 4, 8, and then add running speed minus plus the defensive rating. So yeah, so it'd be 1 to 9. With 1 out, they'll just get the sure out and let Menke go to third. There are 2 outs. And we will intentionally walk, although Concepcion's not a great hitter, he's still better than what Gary Nolan is. So we will intentionally walk Concepcion to get to Gary Nolan. is a right-handed hitter, weak right-handed hitter. Havoc roll. Nothing on the 6. Three and a 7, and good decision there. Ground ball to second, and that will retire the side. Reds leave 2, and after an inning and a half, it's the Reds nothing and the Pirates nothing. All right, and do it for the Pirates, Stargell, Hebner, and Sanguian. Here's Willie Stargell. Three and a 6. That's just a bit outside ball 4. So Stargell draws the leadoff walk. He will not be held on. 0 and -4. Yeah, he'd be 1 to 9. Nope. And that brings up Richie Hebner, not expecting a bunt. Nor would I. Nothing on the 7. And here's the pitch to Hebner. Fly ball to right field, and Geronimo puts it away, 1 down. Here's Manny Sanguian. Nothing on the 9. Five and a 10 against the righty. Hot shot to third, handled there by Menke. Throws to second to get Stargell, but won't get Sanguian on the return throw. 2 away. Here's Bob Robertson. Havoc roll for nothing on the 18. And here's Robertson. 6 and a 9. Shortstop chance. 19 would be good enough for Concepcion. E26. Might have to have a little worry there. And a 14. E26. Nope. 12, 17, and 18. So Concepcion throws out Robertson, and that retires the side. And after 2 complete, it's the Reds nothing and the Pirates nothing. And top of the order up for the Reds, Rose, Morgan, and Tolan. And here's a pitch to Rose. 1 and a 10. Fly ball to left field, and camping under that is Stargell, 1 down. Here is Joe Morgan. So we'll do that again. And we'll do that one more time. Four and an 8 against the lefty. Just a bit outside ball 4. That's not what you want to do for Morgan. They will hold him on. -5, -7. At this point, I think you might want to try to get a lead. 2 to 5 or 11 and 12. And that's a 4. He's going to take off. Let's see, -5 for the hold rating, -4 for Blass, and -2 for Sanguian. So -5 max. And then add another 2 for being held on. So 1 to 11, Morgan will steal. And he is meat. So caught stealing. we'll say 2 to 6. 2 down. Morgan was caught 17 times. He did steal 58 bases. And here's Bobby Tolan. And against the lefty, single to the center field. And, well, that could have scored Morgan if he had stolen it. And Tolan will be held on, but he will not go anywhere with 2 outs. He'd be the same -7 if he got the advantage. So Blass and Sanguian do a nice job of preventing the running game. And here's Johnny Bench. Nothing on the 13. And here's the pitch to Bench. Five and a 5. End home run chance, but it's only a 1 to 2. That's a 9. So it's a fly ball to left field. And that will retire the side. And going to the bottom of the third, still the Reds nothing and the Pirates nothing. All right, and Alley, Blass, and Stennett do up here in the bottom of the third against Gary Nolan. Six and an 8. A line drive to the third baseman, Menke, 1 away. So put it on the screws, but right at him. And Blass using pitcher hitting card number 3, weak right-handed hitter. Oops, and we'll do that again. Oh, did not go in the tower. 6 and a 2. Let's see. He's a right-handed hitter, so it'd be 1 to 3. The 12 does not matter. Would have been a single anyway because he's weak power. So batting right-handed, that would go to left field, and Rose puts it away 2 down. Here's Rennie Stennett. And that's a fly ball to left field. And Rose has 2 putouts in this half inning. And we go to the 4th. Still no score. And Blass will face Perez, Menke, and Geronimo. And here's Tony Perez. Six and a 9. Ground ball to short. And that will retire Perez on the throw by Alley. 1 down. And here's Dennis Menke. Doubled his last time up. Three and a 10. Ballpark single, the 13. That's a 4. So Menke single and a double today, as he will be on, but will not be held. It brings up Cesar Geronimo. Nothing on the 6. Geronimo bounced to the catcher his first time up. Swung on and missed, struck him out. First strikeout by Blass. And here's Dave Concepcion. Nothing on the 3. Potentially walked his last time up. And here's the pitch to Concepcion. Oops, and we'll do that again. And it's a ground ball to short, and that will retire the side. So the Reds strand 1, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still nothing, nothing. And Nolan will face Oliver, Clemente, and Stargell. There's Al Oliver. Four and a 6. Against the lefty, that's into the gap and will bounce away from the center fielder. Heading to third is Oliver. He had 4 triples on the year, and he is in with a leadoff triple. 4-6 against the lefty. 1-4 is a triple chance, and that's a 4. So Oliver with a leadoff triple. The Reds will play the infield in against Clemente. Nothing on the 16. $110. And that ball's driven to left center field. And that hits off the wall and bounces away again. Heading home is Oliver. Hitting third and in there with a easy slide is Clemente. 1-0 Pirates on the back-to-back triples. Sorry, Beatles and everybody else, but 110, 1-9's a triple chance. That's a 3. And Clemente had 7 triples on the year, so back-to-back triples, and the Reds will keep the infield in. Those that don't want to know what I'm about to say, please fast forward. 11-game hit streak for Clemente. Didn't realize this would turn into the almost Joe DiMaggio replay. Now watch next game that I play that he's in, he won't get a hit. All right, here's Willie Stargell. Nothing on the 6th. They want to see if they can't maybe get one out of here and get Nolan on the ropes. 5 and an 11 against the lefty. Well, that will do some of the job. Fly ball center field. Going back is Tolan. He's in front of the warning track, makes the catch. Trotting home is Clemente. And the Pirates take a 2-0 lead on the sacrifice fly by Stargell, who does his job to get some high fives in the dugout. I don't know if he was considered Pops by this time, but I don't know. Somebody put in the comments, when was the Pops nickname for Willie Stargell started? All right, 1 down, bases empty. Reds lead, or Pirates lead 2-0. And here's Richie Hebner. 3 and a 9, struck him out. First strikeout for Nolan, 2 down. There's Manny Sanguillen. 4 and a 7. And a righty, that's a solid single to center field. And Robertson now up. Nothing on the 14. And here's Robertson. Oh, nah, let's see. Do they want to try to run on... no, not on Johnny Bench. Four and a 6. And that's driven to center field. Cutting it off there is Tolan. But heading to third is Sanguillen. And first and third. And the Pirates will get a taste of their own medicine. They will walk Alley. Ooh, do you want to walk Alley to get the Glass? Yeah, they'll walk Alley, intentionally walk Alley with 2 outs. To get the blast, I should almost roll the D20 anyway to see if there's a wild pitch before the walk, but maybe I'll do that in future replays. All right, and here's Steve Blast trying to see if this strategy can backfire. And a wild pitch, 1-6. And that's a 14. Nice stop by Johnny Bench. Here's a pitch to Blast. 4 and a 9 against a righty. Struck him out. So the Pirates leave them loaded, but they get 2. And lead 2-0. The other thing I might have to look up with as long as the Clemente hitting streak has been, what was his longest career hitting streak? Be interesting to find out. All right, Nolan, Rose, and Morgan due up. I think this might be the final at-bat that one Gary Nolan might get. All right, there's a pitch to Nolan. 4 and a 5 against a righty. Fly ball to right field. And Clemente puts it away, 1 down. And here's Pete Rose. 1 for 2 with a single. And how about 2 for 3 with a single? And Rose will be held on. He'd be 50-50 if he wanted to go, and he will not, down 2 runs. And here's Joe Morgan, walked and grounded out in 2 appearances. He will swing away here. Nothing on the 13. And that's to the shortstop. Alley, a 3 and a 4. No, he will knock it down. The throw to first will... Let's see here. Alley is a 25. That's a 13. Will be... It kicks away from Robertson. Going to third is Rose. Heading to second is Morgan. Single and an error is what they'll call it. So the error by Alley puts runners on second and third with 1 out, as a space hit will tie this game back up. No, the Reds will, the Pirates will play the infield back. They'd rather not get one of those plus signs and have it be a tie game. They'll concede a run to get an out. All right, nothing on the 19. And here's Tolan. Singled his last time up. And against the lefty, that's a fly ball to left field. Back goes Stargell, backing up, makes the catch. Scoring from third is Rose. And they'll just throw it in. 2 down. 2-1 game as Tolan gets handshakes from the dugout. And here's Johnny Bench. They will hold Morgan on. Nothing on the 3. And here's Johnny Bench. And that is driven to center field. That gets down. Scoring from third is around second. Heading home is Morgan. He will be safe. 5-6, 1-7 double. That's a 12. And a nice clutch hit there from Johnny Bench. And we have a tie ball game. So the Reds respond with 2 of their own after giving up 2. And here's Tony Perez. Not holding on Johnny Bench. He did have 6 steals. Here's Perez. And that's a fly ball to center field. And that will retire the side. But the Reds come back with two of their own. And we are tied at 2. All right. And this may be the last inning for Gary Nolan. We'll see. Although we wonder if this could be one of the last innings for Blass. Stennett, Oliver, and Clemente here in the bottom of the 5th. And pop up, foul territory, third base side, and Menke retires Stennett 1 down. There's Al Oliver, one of 2 triples in the bottom of the 4th. And that's a fly ball to shallow right field, and coming in as Geronimo makes the catch 2 away. And now here's Roberto Clemente, now 100 hits shy of 3,000 with an RBI triple his last time up. Five and an 8. Second base chance. He might have his second. Yes, he will, because Morgan, as a 2 infielder, will not be able to get to that. And, oh boy, 8 and a 14. 16, 17, and 18, but there is no 14. But another base hit by Clemente. As he has another, now he needs 99 hits. Let's see if a homer is won. And they will not hold on Clemente as he gets a 2-out single. Here's Willie Stargell. Nothing on the 9. Two and a 6. 1 to 13 single chance. However, the 18 is too high. And he grounds to Morgan, and that retires the side. We go to the top of the 6th. And Menke, Geronimo, and Concepcion do up here in the 6th inning. Here's Menke. Single and a double in 2 appearances, so he's 2 for 2. And that's just a bit outside ball 4, so Menke has reached base all 3 times. And they will not hold him on. And here's Cesar Geronimo. Not expecting a bunt. With the bottom of the order due up, he's not likely to. Nothing on the 3. And Geronimo is 0 for 2 with a strikeout today. 3 and a 12. Ballpark blast. But he needs a 1 to 7. The 11 is too high. So fly ball to right. Clemente just in front of the warning track makes the catch 1 away. Here's Dave Concepcion. Nothing on the 14. Three and a 7. That's a 1 to 12 single chance. The 8 is good enough. And to second goes Menke. And yes, the Reds will go with a pinch hitter. They will have Tom Hall and Clay Carroll loosening in the bullpen, as they will get a pinch hitter. Oh, do you use him now? No, he's not that good this year. George Foster only batted 200. You have Ted Eulander, who batted 159. Well, they will use Hal McRae to pinch hit for Gary Nolan, and we'll have Clay Carroll come in. All right, so first and second, McRae will hit against Steve Blass. They will not hold any runners on. Havoc roll, nothing on the 12. Here's McRae. 2 and a 7. Ground ball to short. Alley to Stennett to Robertson. Inning-ending double play. Had the right column, just not the right number. And that will retire the side. So almost good managing there by me, but not quite. All right, so out comes Gary Nolan and in comes Clay Carroll. I know it's a little early than you want to use him, but hey. If not, him and Tom Hall were almost interchangeable as closers, so. All right, so as Carroll finishes his warm-up tosses, Richie Hebner, Manny Sanguian, and Bob Robertson do up. Hebner 0 for 2, lefty-righty matchup. And we'll do that again. Two and a 6. And against a righty, well, against the lefty, that would have been a ballpark home run, but this is a leadoff double for Richie Hebner. And they will not hold him on. Here's Manny Sanguian. Havoc roll for Carroll. Nothing on the 7. All right, here's Sanguian, 1 for 2 with a single, and a fielder reached on a fielder's choice. So we'll redo that one. One and a 7. Unfortunately, not a clutch situation, or else that would have been a hit. This is a ground ball to the shortstop, Concepcion. Looks back the Hebner, and Hebner retreats 1 away, and here's Bob Robertson. Nothing on the 8. Six and a 7. 1 to 3 single chance. That is a 3. And going to third is Hebner, but he will stay there. And, oh boy. What do you do here? The infield will be brought in, and they will pitch to Gene Alley. Pirates will likely have a pinch hitter come on deck. Nothing on the 15. Here's the pitch to Alley. Five and an 11 against a righty. First base chance, that's Perez. He's a 3 and an 8. Oh no! Because the infield is in, that ball will get through for a single. I'll show you here. 3 and an 8 has got the pound sign on it. And because the infield is in, that's a single. Oh, no. All right. Well, you win some, you lose some. And that's an 11 for Perez. He has an E11. No 11. But that will get by. Scoring from third is Hebner. Heading to third is Robertson. And the Pirates now take the lead 3-2, and they will use their bench. Jose Pagan will hit, and Ramon Hernandez will be loosening and come into the game. Not used him in a few games, so Pagan will hit for Blas. As both pitchers will only go 5 innings, but due to situations calling for it, they want to go for the big inning here. All right, here's Jose Pagan. Havoc roll for Carroll. Nothing on the 11. So we'll do that again. Five and an 8. Second base chance. Morgan. 2 and a 6. And wow. So they were in still. 2 and a 6. Another pound sign. So that will get through for a single. Scoring from, well, let's see. Let's see if an error happens and see if this gets any worse. Morgan's an E8. And a 12. No 12. So another run comes in. It is now 4-2, and they will play the infield back now for Stennett. Nothing on the 6 for Carroll. 3 and a 4. Tapper back to the mound. Goes to second for 1. The return throw not in time. Another run scores on the fielder's choice, although that would have been a... Now, the time I play the infield back, he would have prevented a run. Oh, boy. All right, 2 down. He scores, so runner on first. 3 in for the Pirates. Here's Al Oliver. Carroll's got to be beside himself. Nothing on the 12. And against the lefty, fly ball to center field. And that will retire the side. But not until the Pirates get 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors. And we go to the top of the 7th. And Blas will be replaced by Ramon Hernandez. All right, top of the order, Rose, Morgan, and Tolan. Here's Rose. One and an 11 ballpark single. Yep, that's a 1-13, and the 12 skips over. the second baseman, and Rose is on with a single. Down 3 runs, they will just hold him on. He will not be going anywhere. And here's Joe Morgan. Nothing on the 17. Five and a 7 against the lefty. Struck him out. Only the second strike. Well, actually, that's the first strikeout for the new pitcher. Sorry, this is Hernandez. All right, so 1 away, and here is Bobby Tolan. Sacrifice fly his last time up. And that's outside ball 4 against the lefty Hernandez. Actually, all right, Rose just making sure. Rose's would have been a ballpark single as well on the other side. Okay. Yeah, Hernandez is a lefty, and I didn't really check, but I was right. Okay, so walk puts runners on first and second. They will hold all runners. Here's Johnny Bench. One swing of the bat could put them right back in the game. Nothing on the 16. Three and an 8. And that's outside ball 4. So the bases are loaded for Tony Perez. And Ramon Hernandez is getting himself in huge trouble here. They will play the infield back. Nothing on the 19. And here's the pitch to Perez. Five and a 7. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. Wow, that's a big out. But here's Dennis Menke. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. So, not out of the woods yet. Nothing on the 6. One and a 10. And that's a base hit into right field. Rose will score. Tolan hitting third. Let's see here. It'd be 1 to 16. We didn't say we were holding him on. So 17, 2 out, 6 of a 19. That is to right field. Clemente is a -5. So 17, 19, 1 to 14. All right, we're going to let the die decide. 1 to 3 he goes. 4 to 6 he stays. Oops. And he will stay at third. So Clemente with the great throwing arm. Yeah, 70% chance, but not trying to make the final out there. And here's Cesar Geronimo. So 1 run comes in. Havoc roll for Hernandez. Nothing on the 18. Four and a 7. And that's a 1 to 10 single chance. That's a 7. So Geronimo with the base hit. And everybody else moves up 90 feet. It's now 5 to 4. So Geronimo comes through with a base hit. And here's Dave Concepcion. And we'll have a pinch hitter for Clay Carroll be on deck if he is needed. And we will have Joe Gibbon and Pedro Borbon are listening in the bullpen. Havoc roll for Concepcion. Eighth man to bat in the inning. Oh, balk or pass ball chance. And that's a balk chance, no balk. So here's Concepcion. Two outs. Bases loaded. 5-4 game. 5 and a 3. Pitcher chance. 3 and a 17. He will make the play. It's an E0, so I'll roll for a rare play just in case. No rare play. He's an E0, so we'll get everything. So Tapper back to the mound, and the Reds leave them loaded. But they do get 2. Stretch time here at Three Rivers Stadium. Pirates 5, Reds 4. And Carroll will stay out. He will be due up first in the next inning, so he will only pitch this inning. And he will face Clemente, Stargell, and Hebner here in the bottom of the 7th. And here's the pitch to Clemente. Clemente, 2 for 3 with a single and a triple. And that ball is driven to deep center field and over the head of Rose. And over the head of Tolan. And into second with a double is Clemente. And they may do a double switch here. Let's see here. Yeah, I think they will. All right, so Daryl Cheney will come out and play shortstop for Concepcion, and Pedro Borbon will come into the game and pitch. So Cheney will come in. He's about the same defensively as Concepcion, so except a little slower. All right, so Borbon will come into the game, replace Carroll, who gave up the 3 runs and pitched the one batter here in the 7th. Here's Willie Stargell. Facing Borbon. 4 and a 5 against the lefty. Fly ball to center field, and Tolan puts it away, and heading back to second is Clemente, 1 away. And here's Richie Hebner. Hebner doubled and scored his last time up. Nothing on the 16. Five and a 5. Fly ball to right field now. Clemente runs at a 14, plus 2 gives him a 16. Right fielder Geronimo is a -4, so 1-12 he reaches third, 13-19 he holds, and he's out on a 20. And he is in there to third. But there are 2 outs, and here's Manny Sanguillen. Nothing on the 17. 1 for 3 with a single. 6, 6, and that's a bouncer to second, and Morgan retires Sanguian to retire the side. Oops. So nothing happened here in the 7th. And it is a 5-4 game going to the top of the 8th. And Hernandez will stay out. So it'll be his last inning, as he is 2 up 3rd in the order in the bottom of the 8th. All right. So Cheney, Rose, and Morgan here in the 8th inning. Cheney switch hitter batting right-handed. Here's the pitch to Cheney. And triple fives, that's against a righty, that's a 16, so that's too high. So fly ball to left field. And Stargell puts it away, 1 down. And here's Pete Rose. Rose 3 for 4 himself, matching Clemente. One and an 8. That's against the lefty. That's a base hit for Rose. So Pete Rose having himself a day. And -2, -4, -6. He'd be 1 to 11. No, but they will try the hit and run again with Morgan, because they will hold him on. Nothing on the 7. So Morgan swings, off goes Rose. And a 6 on an A hit and run. Ground ball to second in the hole. Getting to it is Stennett. Only play is to first, and Rose will move to second. And here's Bobby Tolan. Now you're not walking him to get the bench. So 2 down. Tolan is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly, a walk, and a single. And against the lefty, that's a base hit, but only going to third is Rose. And now it's up to Johnny Bench. So we get Bob Miller. Bob Miller is loosening in the bullpen. They will stick with Hernandez, the lefty. Nothing on the 4. Two and a 6, and that's outside ball 4, bases loaded. And they will go to Bob Miller. Yes, Bob Miller will come in to try to handle Tony Perez. All right. And Havoc roll for nothing on the 6. Three and a 7. And that ball has hit the center field. And it wouldn't have mattered. Lefty, actually, it would have been the lefty. It would have been a lot worse. That would have been a triple chance. But the lefty, 1-2 is a double, but the single will score Rose from third and Tolan from second. Going to third is Bench. And the Reds now have a 6-5 lead. Nice piece of hitting there by Tony Perez. And now here comes Dennis Menke. Nothing on the 16. Oops, and we'll do that again. Six, 5. And that's a ground ball to short, and that will retire the side. But the Reds get another 2-score inning and lead 6-5. All right, so Bourbon, this will be his last inning of work. He's due up second in the top of the 9th. Will face Robertson, Alley, and a pinch hitter. All right, Robertson is 2 for 3 with 2 singles. And it's a fly ball to right field. And Geronimo makes the catch, one away. Here is Gene Alley. Two and a 10, ground ball to third. And that retires Alley. And the pinch hitter for we will go with pinch hitter extraordinaire Vic Davalillo. Okay, and here's Davalillo. Two out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 8th, and the Reds trailing 6-5. So we'll redo that one. Two and a 4. And that ball is driven to center field and over the head of Tolan. Short hops the wall. And into second with a pinch hit double is Davalillo. And here's Ronnie Stennett. Will he be called back? He is 0 for 4. Yes, he will. Gene Kleins will hit for Stennett. And then Dave Cash will come in and play second base. All right, here's Kleins facing Bourbon. Balk or pass ball chance. And that's a 3, no balk. Here's a pitch to Kleins. To 8, not the right column, ground ball to short, and that will retire the side. So the Pirates leave a runner on second, and we go to the 9th. Geronimo, then a pinch hitter, and then Geronimo pinch hitter, and then Rose. Or sorry, Geronimo pinch hitter, then Cheney. Sorry. As Tom Hall is loosening in the bullpen, he will likely come in, and out comes, and I guess we'll throw Bob Veal here. The lefty will face the lefty Geronimo, pinch hitter, then a switch hitter. And let's see, we'll get Ted Eulander will come on deck. All right. So let's see. And I'll be right back as I pull up Mr. Veal's card on the computer. And if you go back a couple videos, if you want to see Bob Veal's card. All right, so he'll face Geronimo, pinch hitter, and Eulander. And let's see, no, maybe they'll stick with George Foster. Yeah, they'll go with George Foster. And Cheney. Here's Geronimo. Oops, we'll redo that one. Three and a 6 struck him out. And that brings up George Foster, which faces mostly left-handed pitching, so probably a good move for... Let's see here. All right, and here's George Foster to face Bob Veal, one away here in the top of the ninth. It's a 6, whatever it was. 5 and a 5 against a righty. And that's just a bit outside ball 4, so he walks Foster. Foster will not be held on. And here's Darrell Cheney, switch hitter, batting right-handed. Nothing on the 8. So we'll do that again. Two and a 7. Ground ball to short. And retired at second is Foster. And Cheney is retired. And here's Pete Rose, who has only gotten 4 hits today on 4 singles. Nothing on the 5. Pete Rose batting right-handed against the lefty Veal. 4 and a 12 against a righty. And that's outside ball 4. And they will not hold Cheney. First and second. Here's Joe Morgan. And Veal probably pitch to the next 2 batters if he needs to. So, 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Hall is ready when needed. Nothing on the 14. 6 and a 6. And against the lefty, that's a 1 for a double. And that's a base hit. Scoring from second is Cheney. Going to third is Rose. And they may just go ahead and pull Veal here. First and third, 2 down. This will be his last batter. All right, here's Tolan. Nothing on the 8. Dave Justy is loosening in the bullpen along with Bruce Keeson. Six and an 8. And against the lefty, that's outside ball 4. Bases will be loaded. And that will be all for Bob Veal. In comes Dave Justy. Fourth reliever for the Pirates. All right, so bases loaded for Bench, and Bench can almost put this game out of reach with a base hit. Nothing on the 7. Four and a 4, probably catcher chance. Nope, ballpark single, 20 will not do it. So the center field, and Oliver makes the play, and that retires the side. Big insurance run for the Reds here in the top of the 9th. 7-5, Reds lead. And here comes Tom Hall. Hall did have 8 saves on the season. He will take over for Bourbon. All right, Oliver, Clemente, and Stargell. So heart of the order, Hall will have to face. All right, lefty-lefty matchup. Here's Tom Hall. Boy, he is almost as good as Rafael Betancourt from the 2007 Indians. And struck him out. And here's Roberto Clemente, 5th time at bat. He is 3 for 4, single, double, and a triple, so we are on cycle watch. And that ball is driven deep. Left field. Back goes Rose. And that ball is out of here. Roberto Clemente has hit for the cycle. His first home run in this replay. 1-7's a home run against the lefty. And that's a 4. So for the second time ever in my Stratomatic career and first time on video, we have a cycle. And it is now 7-6. And here's Willie Stargell. Triple 4s, and that's swung on and missed, struck him out. 2 away, and here's Richie Hebner. 6 and a 10. Ground ball to third. Menke as a 20 will take care of it. E21. And a 12. There is no 12. 6, 11, 15, 16, and 18. And that will retire the side. But too little, too late for the Reds. For the Pirates, I should say. As they lose this one 7-6, but not by the fault of Roberto Clemente, who hits for the cycle. And we'll be right back with the line score. All right, final line score, 7 runs, 14 hits, no errors for the Reds. 6 runs, 12 hits, 1 error for the Pirates. Pedro Barbone is your winning pitcher. Tom Hall gets the save. And Bob Veal is your... Actually, no, it's Miller is your losing pitcher. But the star of the game, Roberto Clemente... His cycle goes like this. In the 4th inning, he tripled. In the 5th inning, he singled. In the 7th inning, he doubled. And in the 9th inning, he homered. So for my first ever Stratomatic video cycle, I had one in the 2016 Twins replay with I think it was Rosario for the Twins. So, all right, everybody, thank you for watching. Please leave a like. Helps the video to be seen. Please leave a comment if you'd like. Leave a comment on Clemente's longest hitting streak, or when Willie Stargell got called Pops for the first time. And if you have not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified of any new videos. And whatever game you are playing, please enjoy to your fullest. Have a good day, everybody.